Tonight, we are learning more about the two people found dead in a dorm room at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs.
Their bodies were found early Friday morning after campus police responded to a shooting inside the Crestone House dormitory. 9 News reporter Brianna Clark's been learning more about the victims tonight. She joins us now.
Colorado Springs police released the names just a few hours ago. 24-year-old Samuel Knopp was a student at UCCS from Parker. I reached out to his family today and they declined to talk to us. Police say the second victim was not a student at the school. 26-year-old Celie Rain Montgomery was from Pueblo.
UCCS Alpine Village for gunshot victims. I'm not sure if the scene is safe yet. I would recommend staging.
Investigators say 2 people were found shot inside a dorm room. Their deaths are being investigated as homicides. Police say it was isolated and not random, but they still don't have any suspect information. As the investigation continues, we're learning more about Samuel Knopp. The university tells us friends called him Sam. That's him performing at his recital last year. The university says Sam was a senior studying music and was a member of the Visual and Performing Arts Department. Classes have been canceled for Monday, but the campus will still be open, giving students and staff the opportunity to mourn together. They're calling it a day of healing. At 2 p.m., the community is invited to join the Solidarity Walk, which begins at Roaring Fork Dining Hall. Along with the Solidarity Walk tomorrow, the university will have 3 community spaces open with food and support. That's from 9 to 2. There's a healing circle for students at 10 o'clock at Burger Hall tomorrow morning, followed by a visit from Therapy Dogs at 1 p.m. at the Student Life Lounge. Counselors will also be available for walk-in appointments at the Campus Wellness Center.
A lot of resources happening right now for the students at that school. All right, Brianna, thank you. Aurora police tonight are looking for the suspect behind multiple hit and runs and an attempted carjacking. Started around 6:30, police got calls about the driver of a black Jeep that hit at least 4 other cars and took off. They say the suspect also tried to carjack a woman just east of E470 out near Gun Club in Mississippi. She fought him off, but got hurt in that fight and went to the hospital. The suspect then drove north, ditched that Jeep near I-70 and E470. Police have that Jeep, but they're still looking for the suspect at this hour.
The Adams County Sheriff's Office says one of their deputies shot a man and they claim that man was armed. The Sheriff's Office says they got a call around 4:50 this afternoon from someone in the area of 80th Avenue and Conifer Road saying a neighbor shot another neighbor. The Sheriff's Office says when deputies arrived, one man involved was armed and then a deputy shot him. The man shot was taken to the hospital, but at this point we still don't know how he's doing. Nobody else was hurt in that shooting that prompted deputies to respond. Just after 5 o'clock, too, the Sheriff's Office sent out an emergency alert asking people within a few blocks of the shooting to shelter in place. But the Sheriff's Office says that alert went out to a larger area than intended, with people across Denver and Arvada reporting that they received the alert.
This week, state lawmakers plan to introduce the first of 2 bills regulating Colorado's funeral home industry. And this comes after a series of funeral home operators are accused of mishandling the bodies entrusted into their care. The first bill would continue regulating funeral homes as a business entity. Basically, are they paying their taxes? Lawmakers say that one's not really new, but the second of the 2 bills would make a big impact. That one would require the people who work in funeral homes to be licensed and follow industry standards. Colorado is the only state that does not already require this. And this comes on the heels of just the latest in a trend now of funeral home issues. The former operator of Apollo Funeral and Cremation Services in Jefferson County is now facing charges after investigators found cremated remains of at least 30 people in a house where he'd been living, as well as the body of a woman in a hearse in the backyard.
All right, let's talk about the weather. Taking a look at Denver here. You know, tomorrow is President's Day, supposed to be really, really super nice. And this is like when the city of Denver turns into a giant anthill. You have people just swarm outside and they just go out there. They're like, yes, sun. Bring it on, Corey.
Bring
Meanwhile,
it
Corey's
on.
standing in the snow.
But you're not in the sun right now. You're still in the blizzard.
No, I mean, tomorrow we'll be standing in some
Yeah.
sunshine down here, and everybody up the hill is going to be standing in a little bit of a little freshies. We got 1 to 4 inches of snow falling. This is Breckenridge Resort right now at the top of the ski area. They're expecting about 1 to 4 inches, so everybody who has that extended President's Day ski vacation for you, you get another round of freshies. Man, this storm really delivered for one of the most popular times of year for the Colorado ski vacations. Here down in the Denver area, we just have a nice calm night around here. Temperature still hanging in there at 43 degrees at Denver International Airport. We may not even drop below freezing as we go through the night here. We're going to clear out those skies. Potentially not even dropping below freezing, but I think we probably will just maybe around 6 a.m. drop below freezing for just a little bit, and you see those temperatures pretty mild. We're going to be talking about the warmest air of the 2024 so far coming up in the forecast.
All righty. Well, we've all met those couples who want to do everything that their spouse does, like, take up painting, go on hikes.
Sure.
One couple in Denver decided to undergo surgery and give a life-saving gift.
And as 9 News reporter Rachel Krause explains now, this couple is helping make it easier for other people to do the same thing.
For some, the idea of donating an organ is tough. For Chelsea Barker,
it just was like, oh, well, this is really a no-brainer.
she'd been considering it most of her life.
When I was a kid, my grandfather had a form of blood cancer, and a bone marrow transplant would have been really great, but he unfortunately wasn't a good candidate. But it did really plant the seed, and I was like, oh, transplant, that's really interesting that you can do that for someone.
After she and her husband Matt moved to Denver, she found a transplant center near her at Advent Health Porter and began the testing to see if she could donate.
By the time you get to the point where the hospital says, yes, you are a candidate, you know so much about your own health and your own body, and so it's a really easy, it was for me a really easy yes.
Chelsea inspired me. So she donated her kidney first. And I got to watch her go through that process and go through it with her as her support, as a passenger. And my ultimate conclusion was, wow, this is really actually easy, considering you're giving up an organ.
11 months after Chelsea donated her kidney to a total stranger, Matt did the same.
Once Chelsea recovered, it was an easy choice.
Both recovered quickly, ready to resume their normal lives. And Chelsea says Advent Health Porter had programs to make organ donation easy for her.
I didn't have 2+ weeks of PTO in my bank just to take off, or more if my body needed it. And so I was able to take advantage of some protections that were offered through a program that Porter participates in, but not every donor has that available to them.
She's hoping to see programs and resources expanded to make it easier for Coloradoans who want to donate. Last month, a bill was introduced in the legislature that would put protections for organ donors into state law, like prohibiting employers from discriminating against organ donors and establishing a voucher program to make it easier for a donor's loved ones to get a donation themselves down the road.
Being able to make it easier for folks to say yes means that more people will live because more people will be able to become kidney donors. And I'm so proud to be able to help with that in any small way.
That was Rachel Krause reporting. Chelsea says her grandfather passed away before ever getting to see her donate a kidney, but she hopes all these efforts will help keep his memory alive.
License plate readers are becoming more and more common in Colorado, used by law enforcement to help catch crime as it happens. But one county thinks they're just too big brother. Elbert County has decided to remove its 9 license plate readers operated by a private company out of Atlanta. People in Elbert County convinced their county commission not to renew that company's contract. The cameras will all come down in May. But these cameras will still be around in other parts of the state. Denver is installing more than 100 of them in the city this spring.
Parking at ski resorts can be a nightmare. Well, now a new app could make the trip just a little bit easier for people trying to find a spot in mountain towns. Spot Surfer is a company based out of Edwards. They claim to be the Airbnb of parking. The idea being drivers can reserve their parking in advance. We're talking about regular parking spots around town, but also private parking, even driveways, if the owners are willing to rent it out on the app. Spot Surfer is now operational in Summit, Grand, and Eagle counties.
The vinyl revival has been alive and well for years. Now a new vinyl maker is getting ready to start production right here in Denver. Vinyl Media Pressing has a new vinyl record manufacturing plant in Rhino. They're affiliated with Denver-based Record of the Month club, Vinyl Me Please. The plant is located on Brighton Boulevard, conveniently near Mission Ballroom in the offices of AEG. Their goal is to put out 500,000 records in the first year of operations.